with the internet live. Okay, good. So Lawrence Kazan Cassini, good morning. So today I'd like to chat with you a little bit about a couple of thoughts, and some of these thoughts have to do with no more excuses. That's one of them. So what, how, when? Questions we always have about most things. What is this? How is this? When is this? How do I do this? What should I do with it? The big thing is also that we've got to consider that we're always full of excuses in life. It's everybody else's fault that something happens that doesn't happen. So I learned years ago that for every finger we point out, there are three pointing at us. So, you point a finger and you say, that's his fault or her fault, and it's because of this or because of that. But there are three pointing at us. So we've got to try and put things into perspective and see where we are. How do you see the world? How accountable are you? To yourself? To whom? Who are you accountable to? Good morning, Andy, Jim, Deborah. Buenos dias. So accountability is a big one about making excuses. If we take accountability for ourselves, we've got to understand that most of what happens is due to us. It's due to our actions. So how willing are you to change what you expect from yourself? Expectations. It's easy to lie to ourselves, but it's terribly embarrassing to lie to the world. In other words, you can say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you didn't do it, so what? But if you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you put it out there, and other people are listening, you better do it. You better comply with what you said, because that is integrity. That is accountability to yourself and to others. So be in the zone of who you aspire to be. Understand you so you can understand who you want to be. Compare yourself to you. There are quite a few things here to think about, but be in the zone of who you aspire to be. So who do you want to be? Think about that. And then understand yourself so you can understand who you want to be. Compare yourself to you. Because too often we compare ourselves to somebody else, and that's not necessarily the right way to do it. See life through your lenses. You can't see microbes with a telescope. You can't see stars with a microscope. You've got to be realistic. Be brave. Don't stagnate. Challenge yourself every day, either with something new, exercise, relationships, habits. For example, I do Pilates every day, and I continue to try and be and do things that 25-year-olds can do. That's a challenge. I mean, I look ridiculous. I don't care. I try, and I do my best. So I left home in my 20s, and I wanted to see the world. I learned life is an obstacle course, punctuated by occasional successes, which become more frequent with each previous failure. So the obstacle course of life is punctuated by occasional successes. But each success you have gives you more strength to go forward, and you become more and more successful with each success you have. But it's based on the number of failures, because we learn from that. We learn from our failures. So I embraced failure as a stepping stone. I'm sorry, I don't know how to put mute on this on the line here. I embraced failure as a stepping stone to my PhD of life. I'm sorry, I'm actually recording this on a live recording as well, and somebody please put yourselves on mute. So I embraced failure as a stepping stone to my PhD of life. So the lessons I had to learn was one of the big ones was the ego. You know, we always talk about be coachable. Let yourself be guided. Very big issue for me was for many people, it's the ego. In Thailand, I was there for 3 years and I was considered a rock star. We had 600 employees. I was the number 2 person employee of the company, the second in charge. But I was passed over by a political decision of the multinational company I worked with. I was supposed to be the boss, the number 1 of the whole company. And they put somebody else in charge who happened to be nowhere near capable of doing the job properly. I was so angry. This eventually made me want to form my own company. So emotions determine our actions. So it's important to understand the emotions. These are what rule us, and these cause our actions. So why am I talking about all this preamble? So a car comes with a standard owner's manual. No matter who drives it, anybody can drive a car. The scanner is the same thing. It comes with an operating manual. Standard operating procedures. And this is why HCPN has developed a business plan, has developed a whole curriculum of how to do things, a whole program. So where's the complication? Of course, it's the people, including me, us, everybody. We bring the variables to the party. The scanner is, what's so difficult about a scanner? Put your hand on it. But it's not about just putting the scanner. Being a scanner operator is not the same thing as operating a scanner. Being a professional scanner operator means we have to learn about the people we're scanning. We have to understand really what this is all about. So the reason for the fly-ins, the calls, the webinars are to make us more comfortable with the vehicle, with the whole vehicle, so that it becomes second nature. When we drive, we don't think about all these other things. We just get in and drive, and we now become expert at it. So when we become expert at whatever we're doing, it gives us the time to focus on the more difficult things, which is the people. People are uncertain with others. Why? Because they're uncertain with themselves. When you're not sure of yourself, how can you be sure of what you're saying to the others, or what you have to offer to the other people? Can I? Should I? We have full of doubts. What if? These are all doubts we have, always. Be a Class A driver in your vehicle. Be an expert of yourself. That's the first thing. Peter Aceto wrote, and I'm quoting, "A corporation is a collection of people whose joint mission is to accomplish something in a business. The way a community works, households work, it's about relationships, and the real measure of any leader is the ability to leverage relationships to influence others, to embrace accountability." That's Peter Aceto. So we're looking at the scanner. And we look at the scanner and we think, how complicated is the scanner? But really it's not. A professional scanner becomes a professional of his or her own life first. Know what you've got. Know who you are. And then the scanner, oh my gosh, it's the most amazing device. It's a Rolls-Royce with a Ferrari engine. So if we can understand that we have this amazing device, we've got this amazing company that backs us, we've got the potential to be able to help and influence people that are far more educated than I am, a doctor, a professor, a healthcare professional, anybody, most people who are much more educated and prepared than I am, it becomes then for us to be able to learn to manage this vehicle. So once you're confident of what you are, the secret is to understand the client. And that is the variable we have to conquer. We have to be able to conquer the client. I don't mean it that way. I mean, we have to conquer the expectations of the client. We have to conquer the fears of the client. Get to know who you're talking to. And once we are able to do that, then we can have success. So we're looking at HCPN. What is HCPN? And HCPN is Healthcare Professionals Alliance. We go to the fly-in every month. We've got an entire university curriculum that we can go through. We've got guides, we've got teachers, we've got people to show us. And all we have to do is learn what's there and conquer our own fears. Our own fears are the doubts we have. Think about what the scanner does. Think about the perfect storm in which we are right now. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Crystal. Think about the perfect storm in where we are now with the healthcare industry. It's not healthcare, it's sick care industry. The scanner is it's a unique, exclusive, patented device with no competition. Can you imagine? We have that. We spent over $100 million in that. So we have the tools. We have the company that developed the tools, that develops the products. The products are in the PDR. We have every possibility to have total success. What we've got to overcome is ourselves. We've got to get out of our own way with our cobwebs of uncertainty. And we've got to learn how it is to actually talk to other people. How do we put yourself in their place? When you talk to someone, you're not talking at them, you're talking with them. Try and ask questions. You know, the whole thing is, where's this scanner operator, professional scanner operator? What does he do? He asks questions, more and more questions, because eventually people will just fly straight into where you want them to be. They will go straight to where you want them because they know the answers, but they don't know how to manifest them, how to articulate them sometimes in their own lives. But if you ask the questions and then you reinforce the positive part of what they're talking about, then you help them to see how easy this is to see the benefits of what the scan does. We're helping people with their health, making educated lifestyle choices. We're helping with making them introspect. This is a big thing. We go through life January to December, and how much time did we spend in actually introspecting, in looking inside, in dissecting our actions, our activities? Did we actually scale our time? Did we define our time? Are we satisfied with the way we spent our time? Would you employ yourself? Would you hire you? You know, we've got so many variables in our life, and this is what we have to conquer. Because the scanner is a car, it's a vehicle, sophisticated. The company is there, it's all established. The variables are us. We are the variables. So put parameters on your program of life. Where are you going to be? We're in December. What plans do we have for next week? What plans do we have for today? What plans do we have for the entire 10 years? We've got 10 years, 2020. It's a decade. 1,200 days. Excuse me, 1,200 weeks, months, 12 months in a year, 120 months. What am I talking about? 3,650 days. It's 10 years. So we're in exciting times. We've got all the tools, and we've got to look at our own uncertainties, the cobwebs in our own minds, the discipline, the accountability. These are factors that we've really got to consider. You know, when I look back and I think about my own life, and I think about all the failures I've had, I'm actually glad I had so many failures, because these are the things that we learn from. Constantly innovate yourself. You know, Apple at one time had something called Next. If we tweak our own performance, look at your performance every day. Who did you talk to? How did it go? Did you write it down? Did you take notes? One of the big things is, you know, I'm visual, so I've got to write stuff down. But I'm also not very organized in my way. So I had a lot of employees, I had a lot of things that I eventually managed to have. So for me, the discipline of being able to put coherently everything into a flow, that's not something that was so easy for me. Still not. So what I'd like to harp on a little bit is the no excuses. No more excuses. There's a book that is excellent. In fact, at one time, years ago, Nu Skin invited the author of the book. I actually have it on my desk and it's not in front of me here. But he gave us a talk on no more excuses. And we each had an armband with no more excuses. And I had that on for like 5 years. I've got to get some more, and I'm going to give it to everybody that is in my group. I'm going to get an armband with no more excuses to remind us, don't make excuses. So if we understand that LinkedIn is a bank of people. It's a bank of people. This morning I was reading something from somebody that wrote and said, don't sell on LinkedIn. Create a relationship. This is what our business is all about. It's not about selling. It's about relationship. It's about trying to bond with somebody. It's about trying to understand the people. It's about trying to understand who they are, understand their pains. How can we solve their pains? And we can. We absolutely can solve their pains. Whether it's financial, if they choose to really dedicate themselves as a career move. I consider this a career move because it's something that can and has and can replace any job manyfold with the continual income that we have, whether it's residual income, that's what we strive for. But this is a career move. So if we focus on who we're going to talk to, oh, I don't know anybody, I don't have anybody, I don't know who to talk to. All right, you've got a scanner. Look in 1 square mile, 2 square miles of where you live, and put into your software, into your browser anybody you want, any healthcare professional, put cardiologists, put physiotherapists, and see how many you got in 2 square miles of where you live. A bunch of them are going to come up. Then make an appointment. Try and speak to them. You don't like to speak to them? Okay. Try and find them on LinkedIn. Send them a little message. Say, I saw you have a practice of chiropraxia next to, on Avenue, whatever, 57th Street. I've got something that I'd like your opinion about. But be confident about what you're doing, what you have. You're going to ask an opinion about something that they cannot say is flawed. This is the strength of this whole thing. We can go from a position of humility and say, I want your opinion. And you've got something that is like, whoa, my gosh, I need that. Oh, I'm so glad you think so. And we can be low-key about something without being rah-rah and all this kind of stuff. It's because we've got something that is absolutely amazing. So, you don't know anybody? Absolutely you do. Look in your phone book. On our worksheet that we get in Utah, we've got, 200-300 job specialties in there. Who's your gardener? You never know who's who, because even somebody who's your Uber driver, maybe the brother is a brain surgeon. Maybe the sister is a teacher. We've got a person who's teaching is one of the biggest assets that we can have. They're underpaid, but think about how important their job is and how good they become and how influential they can become with lots of people. So look on your internet. Look on 2 miles from where you live. Whatever you want to focus on, and whatever you focus on grows. So, there should be a target of how many ADRs you can put. The ADRs, in my opinion, are directly proportional to the understanding the client or the patient has to the importance of the device. The ADRs are directly proportional, the placing of the ADRs are directly proportional to the understanding the patient or the client has about the importance of what the device is showing. I think that's cool. I just invented that. But that's true. So the idea is to place lots of ADRs. How do you do that? Understand the people we're talking to. Help the people solve their problems. Whether it's a financial problem, a time problem, these are things we have and we can do. So I'm just looking at the time here a minute. Okay. So, Deborah, good morning. So if anybody has any, you got a hold of, hello, Mark. Hello, Tom. Hey, Kari. Gordy. Greg. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm a guy. I can't really multitask very well, so I'm trying to do a few things here. Deborah, good morning. No more excuses. So, ownership. Yes, Jim, you're right. Take ownership. That's exactly what it is. Taking ownership. So, just seeing who else is putting any comments here. Miguel, good morning. Lots of people here. Thank you very much for being on. I hope actually, I will confess something. I kind of prepared myself yesterday for this chat. And then, of course, we have curveballs. Life gets in the way. And I had a whole lot of little mishaps this morning, and I was in a panic. So that's why I've been a little disjointed in my flow. But I hope you got some messages from that. And just how enjoyable and how privileged I feel to have a scanner, to be able to have that tool. Think about that for a minute. How did that tool, tiny little thing, how come I've got it? It's like an iPhone, except we're the only ones that have it. We're the only ones. Pharmex is the only one that has this iPhone type device, not type, but unique, exclusive, patented device. And that's what makes me walk 10 feet tall. Because we have this device that's available to us that we can show. And that's what's really exciting. It's fun. It's really, really a lot of fun to be able to have a device with a company that can change people's lives financially or time or with their health. It's really exciting. I love that. And the reason I do this business is because I need, and I have the passion that gets me up in the morning to make me feel like I'm making a difference. That's what's important, that you feel that you're making a difference. Hello, Malkara. So there's a purpose. We have purpose in life. And in this business, when I say it's a career move, for me it was a career. Started off as, just something in my practice, but then it becomes a career, and it's an exciting career. And we can look on, and just getting back to LinkedIn for a minute, there's such uncertainty with the future of sick care industry. The doctors are uncertain, the healthcare professionals are uncertain, the pharma reps are uncertain, the medical sales reps. Everybody's going through some really serious turbulence in their careers because the rules of the game are being changed and they continue to be changed. But we are influencers and we have everything possible that we can help to influence a lot of people. The first people we've got to influence those ourselves. Got to get all the cobwebs out. Know who you are. Be absolutely sure of who you are. And the variables in life are people. Other things like computers and scanner and the products, these are known issues, known things. But the variables, start with yourself. Start fixing yourself. Start knowing who you are. Start knowing how you react when the good things, the bad things. Those are the issues we need to address. The scanner is something we have and we've got that we can teach and learn and oh my gosh, phenomenal stuff. And the team of people we've got, all our mentors, all the people that teach us. I'm so grateful for the learnings I have from John, from Wes, from Kent, from Wendy, from Andy, from everybody that actually is a structured mentor for me, but everybody is a mentor for me, no matter who he is, because I learn something. We learn something every day, and that's what's exciting. So anyway, it's 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for your attention. Blessings to you all. Pay attention now to December. It's a big month. Don't flap, don't fall down, don't be defeated, and don't ever defeat yourself. That's what you got to get over. Make this a really great month. Look forward to John Whitaker's call on Monday. Blessings to everybody. Mama's Day, Wes.